I will try and introduce my next guest, Rita Briffa, as briefly as I can, but it's a bit difficult because over these past 15 years, Rita has accumulated so much wisdom and so much knowledge. And in fact, many see her as a woman of wisdom who they refer to for advice and and solace as well. Rita has been helping clients who have been struggling to obtain balance and deal with their mental and emotional and resulting physical pain. Her focus is to create a fulfilled life with abundance of inner joy, love, and good health. Who doesn't need that, right? Rita uses various modalities such as Gestalt psychotherapy, reiki, reflexology, aromatherapy, Bach flower remedies, and acoustic art therapy in order to treat her clients. She's also a Reiki master teacher and the author of an excellent book, which I have read, My Way to Success Through Healing Self-Love. Rita is also in the final phase of acquiring an ILM recognized wellbeing coaching certificate. Rita, with so much in your, how can I say, in your armamentarum of tools that you use to treat clients, we have decided after a bit of a discussion to talk about self-love because you feel very strongly about it. In fact, your book was about this topic too. How do you feel self-love? Where are we standing? What is the feedback that you receive about self-love?
Well, thanks, Antonella, for inviting me over for this brief talk. Actually, I circulate all my energies around self-love, and I try to pass this message on to both my clients and my students. Actually, I see self-love for me is a very wide context, and the concept is that we are surrounded with this energy, and actually love is energy. So for me, tapping into love means tapping into this healing life force around us. In reality, when you love yourself, and please, I want to make this quite clear. In my time, and I don't know in this present generation, but when you say that you love yourself, everyone would look at you as very egoistic and self-centered.
Yes.
This is not the case. The moment that I realized was part of my personal growth, the moment that I realized that no one can love myself as much as I do, that moment I started healing mentally, emotionally, and physically in the end. Okay?
Yes, in fact, like you said, a lot of people feel that that they are obliged to love others and it's a must. While at the same time, when you mention self-love, they take a step back and they feel uncomfortable with the thought of loving yourself because, like you said, they interpret it as selfishness or being egocentric or narcissist. How does loving yourself relate to loving others and to your relationship with others?
Perfect. Well, can you imagine your car running on an empty tank? It jolts and it stops. The same with us. If you do not love yourself, okay, if you do not fill yourself with love, you cannot give from what you don't have. I mean, can you get water out of a dry stone? You can't. Okay. So the moment that you fill yourself with love, it brims. There is abundance of that, and out of that abundance, you start to love others the way you love yourself. Now, this has other connotations. When people observe that you do not respect yourself, they will not love you in return, because this nature, as it is, it's very complex. But there's one rule: everyone wants to be loved, but they don't want to love. They expect others to love
Others to
them.
love them.
Okay, but they find it difficult to love, or else they love as much as they are loved. Now, with self-love, it's unconditional love. So when you love yourself to bits, as I say to myself, you start to love others the same way you love yourself. Doing so, you will be empowering them to start loving themselves too. Now,
So it's a
when you do it,
cycle.
it's a cycle. Now, when you when you show others that you love yourself, that you find your self-worth, okay, that then your self-esteem will obviously will get higher, and you start even being mindful of the words you use about yourself. So the moment that you think low about yourself, the moment that you may say, "Oh, I'm not good enough," this force inside you will
Yes.
tell you, "Oh," will remind you of your worth.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I see as women, because I see a lot of women as part of my job, my work. We often speak so badly about ourselves. We put ourselves down, we criticize ourselves, both our physical appearance, our capabilities of maybe committing. And in my case, I see people who feel that they cannot commit to changing their lifestyle, for example, because they feel that they are not good enough, they are not capable. How does self-love work in this relationship with how we deal with our issues and how we project ourselves in the world as well?
Sure. Continuing and in cooperation with what you do. I mean, you monitor what people drink and eat, okay, what they consume. Now, at the same level, parallel to that, there is this notion of what people think about themselves and how they feel about themselves. Now, as much as they do not eat a harmful food, which is harming their metabolism and everything, should be very careful on the thoughts and the words they say to themselves. Because energy wise, what the mind thinks,
Yeah,
okay, the body
definitely.
responds. The body
Yes.
responds.
Yes.
So if they keep telling themselves, "I'm not good enough, I'm obese, I'm fat,
I'm a
I'm too,"
failure.
okay, I'm a failure. The body will manifest and it will create situations where it will affirm what they think.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
to break this cycle, they have to, even if they don't feel it, even that. I always encourage my clients to have a vision board in their mind, sort of how they want, where they want
Yeah.
to achieve, what they want to achieve in their lives, be it in their career, be it in their relationships, in their lifestyle, in their physical body. It's how you see yourself becoming.
So basically, you
So
would project the image of where you want to arrive.
today we are all very familiar with technology. So you have to have this template in your mind of how you want to become. If you want to become thinner, if you want to become more healthy, if you want to become more successful, you have to put all this in your mind. When the mind has this template, it starts to fill it in, and you support it with how you speak about yourself, your thoughts, your environment, because your environment is very crucial in this. The people you surround yourself with, the people you mix with, and all this, and let's put it this way: well-being is quite multifaceted, okay, and it is supported by physical health, which is the last, because in reality it's the emotional health, the spiritual health, our mental health, all
Yeah.
these
They all feed into
together,
our
and
physical.
mixing them together to the same pool of well-being. Now, well-being has again several facets. It's not only how you feel, how comfortable you are in your surroundings, how comfortable you are in your job, in your family, in your relationships with your friends. It's so multifaceted. But at the same time,
And they all affect
once
our
they are all
physical health,
interrelated,
right? Exactly. Exactly. One part of a
exactly.
whole puzzle. You mentioned,
I tell
sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Before I started this journey of energy healing and things like, I used to think that my body is very weak. But when I realized that my body has a lot of resilience and
Yes.
resistance
Yes.
and gets sick, ultimately, because it cannot take anymore. It's like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
When it
Mm-hmm.
cannot take anymore, wherever I put it, it starts to leave water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, or I release myself from clutter, which I do
Mm-hmm.
not need, or the more I park things which I do not need
Mm-hmm.
right now, the more healthy I feel. And physical health is the end result of being mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy. Okay?
That's true. That's true. Now, when we love ourselves, what capabilities or tools do we acquire? You mentioned our self-esteem, understanding our needs, and even boundaries. How do these improve when we learn to love ourselves more? Maybe you can go into more detail about these factors.
First of all, Antonella, when we start to love ourselves, we meet our inner child. And our inner child is our um, capability to have fun in our lives. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
our child. When we grow up, sadly, we think that because we grow up, we throw away our inner child. But our inner child is
Mm-hmm.
always waiting for us to connect again. And when you start to love yourself, she comes, she surfaces, and she helps us to see life lighter, in a lighter version, in a sense that in reality, she will tell you, why are you making a fuss out of this?
Yeah, yeah. Putting things
It
into perspective, right?
simplifies things.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it, it increases a lot of joy. You
Mm-hmm.
start being joyful about yourself. It helps you build healthy boundaries. I'm not saying that because this is very common. Women, especially, who have experienced certain traumas in their
Mm-hmm.
relationships, in their childhood, whatever, they, out of unknowingly, they build a lot of walls around them,
Yeah.
fear of being hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
That's true.
this fires back at them because in building walls, at times we lose opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When a person is hurt, automatically it starts to shut himself up, herself
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mm-hmm.
But that is very unhealthy. So self-love helps you build healthy boundaries in the sense that I always tell my clients, it's okay to have walls, but isn't it time now to climb over that wall and to start to see what is beyond that?
Yes,
Is it
that's true.
time
That's true.
open up a bit and test the waters again, because in reality, the reality is different now. You are wiser, you are
Mm-hmm.
experienced. Pain, when it is dealt correctly, it creates wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's true.
I
We
always,
learn from our mistakes, right?
and
Unfortunately.
so sadly, if I can correct you, there are no mistakes in life.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see yourself as making mistakes, you fall into self-pity.
Yeah.
And self-pity is one thing which is really increases ill health. It
Mm-hmm.
demoralizes you. So whenever you see anything that you did, that you needed to do that, you
Mm-hmm.
needed to experience that
Yes,
thing
it's a
to
necessary
become
step
wiser and
in our
stronger.
path.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
That's
there are no
true.
mistakes in life. There are only
Mm-hmm.
attempts, Antonella.
That's true.
We never did a mistake. We attempt
There are different steps in our path, right?
attempt-
And you also mentioned setting up healthy boundaries. I believe, I really believe that when you do not love yourself, you attract certain people who might not be attracted to you if you love yourself, if you're showing that self-love, and those people tend to stay away. How do you see that? How does that
Yes.
relate to your professional experience as well?
First of all, going back to energy work again, what is around us is a mirror of what is inside us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you with me? So if you feel sad, okay, if you feel you not have enough words, if you feel full of regrets, you will
Mm-hmm.
start to attract people the same as you.
Mm-hmm.
So to confirm that your thinking is right and it will keep you down.
Yes, yes.
The moment that you raise your vibrations, The moment that you love yourself and start loving others the same as you love yourself, that moment you start to attract more of the same vibrations. And this is how you change your reality. The moment that you say, listen, I will not allow people to pull me down, you will start to attract people like you who will not be pulled down.
Yes, that's
So
true.
this is how to heal.
That's true. And how do you, what advice do you give to people to increase their self-love? Are there any practices that we can do? Or you mentioned having the vision board, the mental vision board. Anything else that we can attempt to love ourselves more?
Yes, two things that I found very helpful even in my case. When I was younger, I had so much pain that I wouldn't look at my eyes. So I would make my hair without looking at my eyes. Okay, if I was in a lift, I would give that mirror my back. I couldn't face seeing myself. So thanks to Reiki and all the other work that I do on myself, today I go in front of a mirror and I speak to myself. I look in my eyes. Okay, I hug myself in front of the mirror and I say, "Hey Rita, you're worth it. You've done." Every day I end my day with a gratitude. Gratitude to every cell in my body, starting with perhaps a bit of skin to my bigger organs like the heart and my mind and whatever and the rest. Because they in their totality, they keep me healthy, physically healthy. So I'm grateful to that. And let's put it this way. Our body is constantly outside of its comfort zone. Because
it's a miracle how it actually works, right?
It's so long. Our agenda is never ending. We are sort of all the time management, trying to do a lot of things. And this brings me to another thing. Last year, I did a foundation course with the Chrysalis Institute to work with people, women especially, with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. And one of the lists which causes fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue are those women who never stop. And even more, those women.
And we're all very guilty in that. As women, we tend to do that, as most of us fall into that. So finding time to stop.
Sorry, Antonella.
So finding, yes, because we got cut off a bit. Finding time to stop, slow down, and be grateful.
Sorry, every woman has to dedicate at least 15 minutes. You know what I'm asking? 15 minutes a day. My God, there are 12 hours with 20 minutes. 15 minutes. In those 15 minutes, she has to take stock of what happened during the day, what she did well and what she could have done better to take care of herself. That it's like closing the day with that mindset, with that frame, that she is doing her best to take care of herself. And the body, another thing, every cell in our body has a mind. The mind is not only the matter up here. It's in every cell in our body. Every cell in our body listens to us, feels our emotions. So those 15 minutes where intuitively and consciously, she will say, next time I can do this better. I will take care of myself better. Next time, again, responding, not reacting. When you respond to a situation is when you just take a few deep breaths and then respond, even if it takes some time later. But it's very important that you do not react. I know I'm asking something difficult.
Yes, but it's something that we can learn as well. It's not something that you start doing overnight.
When you react, you are giving your power to other people to pull your wires, to pull your strings. When you respond, you pull away their carpet from underneath their feet. They become helpless.
That's true. That's
and
true.
That's part of healing.
And mentioning healing, how does self-love help in our physical well-being as well? How does it affect?
It's vital. It is the core actually of healing. When you love yourself, when your body feels that you love it, that you want the good for it, that you are protecting it, that you will do everything for it. Okay, you love it so much that you will do everything for it. It starts to heal because every cell in the body will listen to you, will listen, and it will respond by healing. And healing, in our way, it's not in the medical world, in our energy world, healing is when you are at peace with yourself. In reality, we hear a lot about forgiving others. The
Mm-hmm.
first you have to forgive, we have to forgive ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Yes.
For exposing ourselves to certain danger, to forgiving our power to certain people,
Mm-hmm.
giving everything to others and depleting ourselves. So the first person that we need to ask forgiveness is
It's
ourselves.
ourselves. Mm-hmm.
When we
That's true.
forgive ourselves, we start to heal. This is a process.
Yes, and in fact, you mentioned the medical and the non-medical world, but in reality, even in the medical world, we always see clients. This is true. It's beyond any doubt. People who have stressful times, who are going through severe emotions, they end up having things like eczema, psoriasis, heart disease, bowel problems. You name it, and these are all mental health problems. These are all coming from the way we deal with our emotions. If you do not find a way to get your emotions out of your system, you will get these symptoms. It is a physical manifestation of disharmony in our emotions, basically. So it's not only the medical and the non-medical, because what we see is the result very often of imbalances in the way we are feeling. So I agree completely with you on this. Now,
Exactly.
Rita, maybe some last advice that you would like to share with our followers.
And I just ask them, literally ask them to start loving themselves with a different mind frame. That when you love yourself, you will be in a better position to love others, to be of service to others, and to create more healthy relationships with their children, with their elders, with the people at work, with everyone. Because when you love yourself, you will be in such a confident state of mind that, again, you can deal with any issues, you can deal with anyone, because in loving yourself, you will realize that whatever they do to you, you have the power to cleanse yourself from all the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that's throwing at you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing. Secondly, when certainly there is no guilt in loving yourself, because in loving yourself, you're becoming a better version of yourself to help others. Okay?
That's
Because
true.
out of extra love of yourself, you will be making others
Spill over onto others as well.
happy,
Mm-hmm.
at others. I mean, this is in Reiki especially. We change our world by changing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You change
Mm-hmm.
yourself when you love yourself. When you start loving others differently, all your world will change around you.
Mm-hmm.
And in
That's true.
conjunction with nutrition, you will not you will not eat poison. Okay, so why allow poison in your mind and in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking negative
Yes.
thoughts about yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, certain behaviors are self-sabotage because we do not feel worthy, and we end up eating the food that we know is causing us harm. So that
And
it's all a cycle.
self-sabotage is we are afraid to change because we fear that we may lose certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because if we show that we are healthy, we may lose certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of changing the status quo. But
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, outside the comfort zone, there is gold. So the
That's
moment
true.
you stop in the comfort zone, then you start to spread your wings and fly.
Yes, definitely, Rita. Thank you very much for your insight. I've really enjoyed our talk. As always, I always learn so much from you. How can you be reached? Maybe you'd like to share your Facebook or your website?
Yes, my website is www, obviously, wellbeingconsultantmalta.com. And I have my Facebook page as well, Wellbeing Consultancy. And obviously, email, it's very, my email is very simple. It's Rita Briffa, all in small letters.
One word, okay?
gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Same here.
And